Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Terra Tech. And on this episode, we are going to be continuing where we left off. In fact, between this episode and the last one, I was going to go in there and redesign my bot, but it was late that night, so we went ahead and stopped doing the videos for that day. And it's been about a week since I've been back on, and there's some news here. So before we get started in redesigning the bot that just doesn't seem to want to work right with all of your great suggestions, I wanted to give you guys an update on some of the stuff that's been going on. Apparently there was a Valentine's Day event, which I wish I had known about, but it's kind of cool. You can see right here the winner. They've already picked one, the Valentine's Day competition winner, Monday, February 15th, 2016. The winner is Dragon Cinder, won the amazing champion cube. It took him 7 to 8 hours to make, and it's absolutely massive. As you can see right there, that's pretty much as big as you can make anything in the game. I don't think you could make it any bigger than that. Very, very cool. I wonder if it's all hollow, like he just did the outsides or not, because that would make it a little bit easier on your computer, as well as just, saving a lot of time to do. But yeah, it's very, very cool little thing that he did right there. So, big shout out to you, man, for doing that. There's some other ones down here apparently some people have done. The heart right here on the right-hand side looks a lot like the Zelda one. And then the one over here on the left, very cool, has that whole kind of, bright, sunshiny kind of feel to it. So I like, what you guys have done here. And then, of course, they've done some other stuff. They've optimized Terra Tech. We're looking to track down some frame rate optimization issues we've been having recently. People were reporting the game runs slowly in places, which is something we want to investigate. That's fantastic. I've been waiting for them to do it. I knew they were going to. It's never been a question of whether they were going to get around to it. It's just when they were going to get around to it. So that's really cool that they're finally going to that point. But I'm also interested to see some of the other stuff they've been adding into it. They've added 1 main and 8 side missions, just little things like that. But we're going to go ahead and get back into the game and just kind of mess around with the bot that we have, because I had an idea. And one of our viewers actually gave me the idea for what we could do with this bot. He was saying, why don't I try doing something that is a little bit on the side of maybe lifting up the pieces over here on this side, so that there's like legs coming down. And when he said that, I was like, like an archway basically on both sides. When he said that, I started thinking of the legs, and I started thinking of, what if I created like a giant spider or scorpion? I've done the scorpion before on a small size, but I've never done it on a big scale like this. And when I started thinking of like all the different bugs and animals that we might be able to reproduce, especially since they're adding into the game the ability to change the color of the blocks. Now, that seems like maybe I can create a boss guy. This would not be your very first boss guy you'd run into, obviously. This would be one of the biggest ones you could find in the game, because this is just massive in size and scope. But, who knows? Like, if I could do that, I think that would be fantastic, and then upload it to the internet and let you guys try it out and see if you like it and see how well it works for you, fighting it, and whether there's any flaws to it or what. Because there always is. As you learn the game, you're gonna get better at things. I also want to redesign this over here on this side. The whole thing needs to be redesigned, and the reason behind that mainly is, guys, one thing I wasn't aware of, plus I didn't really have the necessary pieces to do it, which is these receivers right here. These things will always pull stuff off of your tractor pads. So if you have the tractor pads and you want to keep stuff on them, you can't really do it that way. But one thing to be aware of is, if you have stuff on your tractor pad, they can be sold to the vendor, the actual Payload Studio terminal thingy that you can go over to and sell. They can just be pulled right off of that, is what I've been told. So what I want to do is have these receivers on one side, pick up all of this stuff, all these items that I can't actually take apart, and then go through all of this stuff, see which ones can be taken apart, which ones can be sold, all of that. And the ones that are left over, the ones that I can't possibly do anything with, I want to come over here and stick on the other side where these tractor pads are going to be. And that way I can come out here and I can clean up the ground with, all the robots and stuff that we've destroyed, and actually, make a little bit of money and do it fairly quickly as well. So I can just kind of go back and do what we need to do now. I don't remember where we were on the last episode. Pretty far away from our base, if I remember right. And I don't really have... And, of course, the weapons has been changed yet again. What about build mode? Is build mode the same? Yeah, build mode is still the same. Every single time I come in here, my controls are changed. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Yeah, maybe not exactly what they wanted the controls to be, but if you're going to give me the option to change them, then at least give me the option to keep them. You know, I know you're doing updates, and maybe that's why it keeps resetting, but it's fairly annoying, because especially some of the time I don't check. Oh my god, what is wrong with this thing? Why can I not move? This is why I hate this bot right now. It is very, very wonky. Now, I've been told there are some things that might be affecting it. One, the wheels that we picked aren't exactly the best ones in the game for turn radius. The other thing is they are right next to each other. If you look, there is no space between them. Some people were saying if you leave one square in between it, that gives it some ability to actually turn a little bit better. So that's one thing we're going to try out as soon as I can get back to the base. Another thing we're going to try out is those legs. I have a little bit of money to work with, not much, but there's easy ways to actually gain money. A lot of the items that I have on my bot don't really need, and they're worth quite a bit of money. Like the wheels, I have a few extras of, especially these big ones, which I think I'm going to be replacing every other one of these wheels with different types. And some of the wheels that come out a little bit further that aren't as big as this one seem to have the ability to turn a little bit better. And I just need that turn radius, because right now I literally have to seesaw back and forth to be able to turn just slightly. And it wasn't like that with the last build. Before I replaced all this stuff and made it very square, and there was no sides to it that came off on the end. And I think that really gave it some traction that this one is lacking. What is this up here in front of me? Oh, is that crystal? It's kind of flashing up there. It looks a little weird. Is that a bot? I think it is. I think it is a Player Tech. What is that? Oh, is that what's left of my airplane? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's what's left of my airplane, what I kind of just threw there on the side. Not much. Let's just move this stuff out of the way. That way we can get this, because I don't even know if we can get up this hill. This hill may be way, yeah, it's going to be way too high. I'm not even trying that. That would be ridiculous. Let's see if we can go around the edge. And I do apologize, but one thing about this build is I wanted to make sure you guys have seen, if you don't spend the time, if you don't kind of take it out for its paces every so often, you go back to your base and you come up with this great idea that looks good on paper, that sounds good from everything you've done, and then you take it out to actually mess around with it, you're going to learn kind of the hard way that you may have missed some stuff. You're going to want to make sure that you have ability, like these terminals right here, to buy other pieces that you're missing. But more than that, you're going to want to make sure that you have a little bit of money to be able to afford to buy the pieces that you're going to need. That's one thing that I failed to do on this one. I spent all the money I had just to be able to buy the pieces to make this bot. And it ended up not working. So, yeah, look at this. I'm still turning to the right, and it's just barely even moving. And if I stop completely, then it will turn to the right a little bit more, but I lose my traction, and I get stuck on a hill. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons I want to get up off the ground as much as possible. The other downside to doing that, though, guys, is there's going to be a lot of weight on those wheels that are down on the bottom. The cool thing about it is what I was thinking is if I do the legs that kind of come off, and I'll be able to have wheels on both, the right-hand side and the left-hand side. And if I really, really wanted to, I could put the wheels that go underneath the bot that way as well. So that's really not a bad plan. I'm trying to, come up with the idea in my head and hope that it actually works. I'm thinking it will, but there's no guarantee. I'm going to come over here and pick up some of these items. Is this an enemy? No, it's one of my guys, isn't it? No, that's an enemy. I was going to say, because I have a lot of bases over here. Jeez, look at the lag on that one. Holy crap. Okay, and that's because we're getting back to where there's like 15 bases over here, and there's items all over the floor. Let's see, can I pick all this stuff up with the tractor pad? I think I can. Or maybe not the tractor pad, but with the receivers. The receivers should be able to do this, but I'll have to pick it up from behind. Let's see, come on, let me back up into it. And I'm taking damage. As you guys can see, some of the blocks are getting hurt because there are things underneath that are trying to lift themselves up through those blocks. And of course, when they do that, they don't care one bit where where your thing is from. Let me actually throw down a... Yep, not going to work there. Let me put that down. Oh, come on. Jeez, I can't zoom in any further than that. I am just too big of a bot to really get in there to the ground. There we go. And let me add that there. The reason I'm doing this is not to charge up my batteries to the full extent like they possibly could. I just want to start repairing the damage that's being taken right now, so I don't lose anything. And the fact that my bot is so big that I can quite literally just pick stuff up and toss it on top, and it just stays there is pretty incredible. I like that quite a bit. Let's see. We're going to put this stuff over here. I'm going to go ahead and grab these wheels. All this is going to help me afford to do what I want to do. We're going to go ahead and put these weapons down for now. And if you guys remember, we did have a fairly, cool venture bot. And with these pieces here, I may end up deciding to wait to redesign this one until the next video. That way I can do it, primarily all the work in between this one and the next one, and it's no longer sunshine outside, so that is done with. This is as much as I'm going to get done right now. But yeah, that's going to take a while, so I'm thinking I might do that in between videos, and maybe this one, go ahead and see if I can redesign my venture bot, because I think I have enough pieces. Now I'm going to pick up the lights just because I like having those. They do add like a very cool, ambiance to the game. I remember when I first started this game, the computer that I was using wasn't one of the greatest ones in the world. It was, pretty basic. It had, the ability to play a lot of games out there, but this one definitely kind of stretched it to its max when you started doing sophisticated stuff like this, where you have a bot this big with this many blocks and all this stuff on the map would just be lagging me out to no end. It would be freaking nuts. As I have gotten a better computer and I've, seen the game evolve, stuff like that has gotten better. So one of the things I try to take advantage of as much as possible is actually experimenting with the lights, because that was one thing that I didn't want to have anything to do with. It was just extra lag, and it really doesn't add a whole lot to the effectiveness of your bot surviving a battle. It's not really going to do that. It does never, as far as I can tell, get dark enough in this game to the point where you can't see anything. If it did, that would be kind of cool, actually. I think that would be a very, very neat little thing to kind of explore. Now, they are talking about later on in the game, when they finally do, get finished and they create missions, you're going to have different planets you can go to and do different things there. When they do that, they may decide to have a planet of darkness, and I think that is kind of a cool idea if they do go that route, because a planet of darkness would make it worthwhile, actually, mandatory almost, for you to have lights on your bot. And the cabs, they come with lights on them, and a lot of the bots that you fight, they have lights integrated into them, so it wouldn't really be hard to find. It's not like it's going to be challenging to create the lights. It's just going to be another aspect to do it. A lot of reasons people don't do it is just because it takes up spots where weapons most likely will go. I mean, the lights, they can shine underneath blocks, but primarily you want to put them on like the front of your bot. That can be good or bad depending on how you look at it. It's going to be one of those things where the damage is going to have to go through it first before it goes through the blocks on the front. So if you have your cabs on the front because you don't have very many blocks to start with, you put some lights on there and you're set. You're going to be protected a little bit more than you normally would be. Let me see if I can back up over here. I'm trying to pick up every little thing. Of course, I'm having to do it by hand right now because my bot is not designed, the way I was talking about, where it picks it up all automatically for me, and then I can just go back and sell it real quick. Where is my... It was just right over here. I kind of lose track of it. Of course, it is night, and it is foggy out here, so that's why I can't see as far as I could before. But I think it was off in that direction, right? So hard to tell with so many blue arrows on my map. And that's because, like I said, every single time I come out here, I find another one of those, bases, and I kind of leave it there. Because it does have some pretty cool stuff on it. It is protected for the most part. It has, shield bubbles and repair bubbles on them, and I can sell to them, and it's kind of all set up for me. However, it's not something that I usually have the space for or I want the weight of on my bot. And I figure, I'll come back to it, maybe do something with those later on down the road. Never really seem to do that because there's like 15 of them over here in this one like 10 foot by 10 foot square radius. It's a little ridiculous how many they've given me. Is there some more stuff over there? There sure is. Okay, let's go over there and get that real quick. And I know most of you are like, oh, this is going to be a weird episode. There's not a lot of fighting. It's kind of cleaning up stuff. This is primarily the stuff that I do off camera, so you guys don't have to watch it. But I wanted to, first of all, give you guys an update on some of like the holiday event stuff that was going on. And two, because I don't show this very often, I did want to kind of show you guys that there is another aspect to the game that isn't just all run and gun. Let me go destroy stuff. I have everything I need. I don't really have to stop and mess around with the cleaning up duties. This is, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, part of the game. You will have to, clean up your area. Otherwise, the lag, regardless of how good your computer is, regardless of how great they make the game, it's just going to become too great. I mean, this is just a lot of freaking blocks, in an area that that you're going to be spending a lot of time in and doing a lot of stuff with. Actually, there's a block back here that's kind of getting damaged. Oh, yes, we got another booster, so I'll put that on the back. Some more weapons or lights? Those are lights. I do like some of the Venture lights better than the GSO ones, and it shouldn't really be that case. It shouldn't be one is better than the other, because if you think about it, Venture is all about speed and lightweight. It's not really about power. Whereas GSO is a little bit more about being neutral, a little bit more about being even-handed. It has a little bit more weight to it, but a little bit stronger on their blocks. It has the ability to make bigger blocks, but not necessarily huge ones. So it's kind of right in the middle. And I would say Venture is on the bottom of it, where it's light, very weak, but usually putting out a little bit more damage than some of the GSO ones. And then, of course, you go all the way up to Geocore, and Geocore is on the heavy side of that, where they have just, fantastically large blocks that do, great defense to you. They have enormous amounts of damage that they can take. And this thing is such a pig, man. It takes so long to turn in this one. Is this an enemy? If it is, yeah, let's kill him. Let's kill this guy, and we'll take out half of the rainforest over here while we do it. There we go. You're going down, man. And this is one of the problems that I kind of ran into on one of my other playthroughs, is I would come out here every so often and just do the cleanup. Just, pick up all the junk, and I had to do it manually like we are doing now. And like I said, hopefully in the future we won't have to do that. But when you have to do it manually, one of the things that happens is mobs will spawn while you're doing this. And it seemed to happen more often than not that so many mobs would spawn that I wouldn't be able to sit there and actually get the area clean without making it even messier, because I was killing even more, bots that were spawning, and they were dropping more junk, and I was picking it up. It was like this vicious circle of going out and having to protect yourself while making more of a mess than you were before. But if you can just drive by and have it all pick it up for you, I think ideally that is the way to go. What is this? Is this a battery sitting over here? What in the world? Why is there a battery sitting out here? I don't know. But while we are here, we need to go ahead and start charging up. I don't know if you get less money for an item that seems to be damaged or not, but if it is a thing, definitely want to repair it. I always just repair it because that's the way I like to play the game. Plus, when I come back here, I know I'm going to be here for a while, and so I go ahead and charge up, because there's always the chance, and it seems to be the case more often than not, that while I'm sitting here building, I will get attacked. And if I'm not fully charged up with my shields, or at least partly charged up, these things, they don't last very long, because I don't have the greatest batteries in the world. I do have two of them. I do have two really good batteries, but that's it, and they're really, really expensive. So you can see right here, it takes a while for them to charge up, and it doesn't take very long for it to pretty much be gone. But, while we're here, I think we're going to make another one of those Venture ones, because, I've mentioned to you guys before on the comments of those of you who have been leaving ones, I do apologize for the amount of time it takes me to reply back to some of you, in the sense that lately it has been just incredibly busy at work, and I've actually fallen behind on a lot of my series because of that, and I do apologize for that. I probably will be cutting it back for the foreseeable future to probably 3 series every week, instead of the 14 I was doing at one point. And I'm going to do that so that it can't drive away when I switch over to this guy, because you'll see that it will try to here in a minute. Oh, wow. Okay. Yes, you can do that. Oh, and there's an enemy right there, and he's attacking my bot. Okay, so I guess I'll have to go back to that. Where is he at? Of course he is. Right here, where all of my good stuff is, and he's just sitting here decimating my bot. You are a butthead, man. What are the odds? Pretty good in this game, guys. Pretty good. Okay, we're going to pick this stuff up. This is why I was telling you to be very, very careful with the smaller bots. They can just sit here and wreck you so bad, it's not even funny. Okay. Yeah, you are a punk, dude. Die already. Oh, jeez. He did so much damage, and he destroyed, what, 3 or 4 of my bubbles? Yeah, I think so, and he destroyed a couple of cabs as well. I can't even see him. We're going to have to take that wheel off if we hope to have any chance whatsoever of killing this guy. Okay, so now we are down on the ground, and he is finally dead. Thank you very much. Ugh, jeez. Okay, this is why I was telling you, this is why I do it. Now, if you had put on this bot one of those AI modules, especially one of the combat AI modules, he would have defended himself at least a little bit. And won't let me put it back underneath, huh? Why not? I want it underneath. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now you cannot go anywhere. And I'm going to put that stuff back. Maybe a glutton for punishment, but I kind of have to. At some point, you know, we have to charge this thing up, and we have to make sure that it's well protected. And then when we come back to it, make sure that we can actually go off and do something with it. Let's see. I got another one right here. So I didn't lose that many. I think I lost 1 solar reactor. No, there's the solar reactor right here. So I didn't lose the solar reactor. What I did lose is, what, 2 or 3 of these things? Of the wireless chargers? They're very weak, so it's easy for them to get destroyed, but man, I was hoping that it would survive. Okay, let's see. Where is my bot? Did it get destroyed? No, it did not. Okay. We're going to come over here, and we're going to start building up our guy. Of course, I have to run into the one thing that's here. Yep, see, it's already trying to drive away. It doesn't care that I want it to stay exactly where it's at and stop doing what it's doing. It has a mind of its own, and it's kind of annoying because right now, at least the last time I checked it, the mind of its own was not a good mind. It is very poorly designed in the sense that I wanted to do one thing, and the programmers, they don't necessarily agree with that. They wanted to do something else, and so that's the default. It's not like it's poorly designed in the sense that they didn't know what they were doing. They just wanted to go in a different direction. So I completely understand that. Don't necessarily agree with it, you know, which is why I play the game the way I play it. But, you know, I respect it, and I like to give them crap for it, even though they're not doing anything wrong about it. So let's see. We need to put these over here, and we'll worry about it not being completely right just yet. We're going to go back a little bit more. And, of course, you know, one of the things that I enjoy the most about this design is that I can get to, you know, mess with it as we go out there. So I try not to have a finished product when we leave. Because if it's finished, what do I have left? You know, I'm going to go out there and kill some bots, maybe get a new piece or two that we haven't seen, but beyond that, what do I have left to kind of mess around with? So, yeah, I definitely like to leave it where it has room for improvement, where it has room for growth, and then see if I can find the right pieces for it, because that is part of the challenge, part of the enjoyment for me to do that. Let's see. What are you doing over there, man? You're freaking out. Let me back up a little bit. There we go. Not exactly perfect just yet. I'm going to have to buy at least one more wheel, because I don't have what I need for that one. But let's see. We are going to go down underneath it. Right there, I think. Actually, no, we're not going to do that, because we don't need to. The wheels are on there just fine. We don't need to go down. That way it's not going to get stuck. However, over here, we're going to go down because I like to have more weapons in the front. Okay, that's good. Let's see, what other things do we have? We have a lot of brackets. I'm not putting those on my bot. They're okay. They're fun to mess with, but overall, not exactly what I'm looking for on this design. A lot of lights. We don't really need those. Let's go with this, and we'll put that in the front. What else do we have over here? Anything? No? No? Oh, yes, we do. We have one more block. Okay, that's fantastic. And then I can throw on maybe a couple boosters here on the back. Not going to be perfect just yet. And should we throw that on the front? Maybe? I don't know. We could try it. We could try it. Let's see if that works right here. No, maybe up here on the top. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Kind of interesting looking. More like a... I don't know. That gives it a whole new feel to it, actually, as well. So we may try that out. We're going to put a wheel on that side. What else do we have? Oh, we got one more block. Okay, yes, fantastic. let's do this. And anything else? Let's zoom out a little bit, see if we can get in there. What is this? This looks interesting. It's a bracket that won't let me see what it is. Okay, well, it's a very, very big bracket. Something that we can mess around with at some point down in the future. Let's see, anything else? Lights, lights, and lights. Nope, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to take some of these weapons and start outfitting the bot so we can make sure that it's at least somewhat protected. I'm not going to give it any Uzis yet. Those are pretty difficult to find, and I kind of want to save them for, you know, any design that I come up with in the future. Unless, of course, I buy them, but then I don't mind giving it to them. So let's see. That looks good, actually. Let's throw on one more on this side. Oh, yeah. That's coming out to be pretty nice. Look at that, guys. And if I fire, it does a fair bit of damage, but not too much. And then, of course, I can put some more on the row behind it on the side and maybe come over here on this side. I kind of like it, though. It's looking more like a crab or, I don't know, some kind of like stinger, maybe. We can make it very small, very agile, but still at the same time very aggressive. Because this is going to be freaking fast. Look at this, guys. This has no weight on it whatsoever. In fact, let me go ahead and buy one more of those wheels. Oh, of course, you could do that. That's not what I wanted to do, but okay. I love how it's see-through, and you can click through it. Unfortunately, that does tend to get in the way sometimes, so I need to turn the screen so we're looking at just the ground. And that's what happened just a second ago. Okay, so we need to buy some of these, and I don't have the money because I haven't sold the stuff. Okay, so I tell you what we're gonna do, guys. You guys have and I'm gonna say you guys as many times as I can. But yeah, in between this video and the next one, I'm gonna sell the stuff that I don't need. I'm gonna see if I can start redesigning the Geocore bot just slightly if I have enough money for it. And this guy is going to be completely ready to take out on the next video. So that's probably what we're going to do. We're going to take this guy out, see if we can, you know, round up a little bit extra cash if we don't have exactly what we need for the Geocore. And yeah, just kind of outfit both of them. We do also want to build some planes here in the future. Somebody was saying I should do an entire season of nothing but planes. I like the idea. I definitely do. It sounds interesting to me. It would force me to get better at planes because right now I suck so bad at both flying them and designing them. I am not very good with either one of those. So I do kind of want to force myself into doing that. I just don't know how painful it would be for you guys to watch that, considering that I normally record anywhere from 4 or 5 videos at the same time, and so you would have to watch like a week's worth of videos screaming at the monitor, fix this, and leaving comments, and I wouldn't be able to get to them until 4 or 5 videos down the road. So in case you're ever wondering why I may reply to your comment and just not actually fix what you guys are talking about, it's because I do record these when I have the time. Because I do have a full-time job that I work at, and I usually do this at night when I get home. I'll do 4 or 5 videos, an hour and a half, 2 hours of videos, and then the next day do something different. But lately, I've had maybe 1 or 2 days during the week that I've actually had the time to do it. So the series have been kind of dying down a little bit, but they will get back to normal. It's just a busy time of the month, and it should even itself out sometime in the future. So again, guys, I want to thank you all for watching. If you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Definitely helps grow the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Also, make sure to leave those comments down below. I do love what you guys have to say. Normally, I will ask you what should I name the bots, and you're more than welcome to give me a name for it. The other name that I had for my last Geocore bot was the Surfboard, and I liked it. I liked that name. It did kind of look like a surfboard, and it worked rather well. It skidded across the ground very easily. The new one now that I have, I don't know what we call it, the dump truck maybe, or the stuff that goes in the back of the dump truck, because it does not work very well. But we're going to fix that, I hope. And it's going to be a massive scorpion or spider-like creature that is just going to intimidate people to no end. But guys, thanks again for watching, and I will catch you all next time.